All right, welcome everyone to the Lebanon Utility Service Board meeting for Wednesday, August 19th, 2026. Let us confirm, or please let the meeting minutes reflect that the meeting was properly advertised. We will start with our Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first agenda item is our approval minutes from our previous meeting on August 5th. Any questions or comments from the board? Do we hear a motion?
I move to approve the minutes from the August 5th, 2026 meeting.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. First formal agenda item, this will take me a minute to read. Baker Tilly Municipal Advisors LLC report on proposed project and cost of service rate study, City of Lebanon, Indiana, Lebanon Utilities Municipal Electric Utility. Jeff will lead us through this discussion related to electric rates.
Yeah, thank you, Board. The structure of what is being proposed to you this evening will be to review and ask any questions related to the Baker Tilly report. Unfortunately, Scott Miller was not able to attend this evening's meeting, and so if there are any technical rate-related questions, I would have to defer to Ed and Sandra. What I thought I would do is that the intent is that the next item on the agenda is a resolution where the Baker Tilly report is attached as an exhibit to that resolution, as well as a proposed electric rate ordinance to the proposal to the City Council. That rate ordinance is reflective of sort of a summary of the results of the Baker Tilly report. And whatever the pleasure of the board, I'm happy to go through and kind of give a summary of what those recommendations were, or otherwise, but each category, as you're aware, and I'm going to give these in an overall average usage increase or decrease. But the Baker Tilly report, this has been the subject of a number of joint working sessions and a joint City Council utility board meeting. But the recommended rate change for residential, and again, this is based on overall average usage, is a 4.2% increase for residential, a 5.50% increase for municipal, a commercial single phase is a 3.10% decrease, small power 2.54% decrease, industrial 20.55% increase, security and streetlights, that's private and public, 15.85% increase. A few things to note. We have a small number of residential users within the LEAP district. We do not serve the Meta site. We do, however, have a wheeling agreement with the Boone Power and their provider, that we do provide a temporary power source to the LP1 site. We anticipate that will go away in a number of months. It's a very favorable agreement to the utility. I think that's...
Jeff,
yes, sir.
I would like to interject here before you go any further. Going back to those rates that you quoted there, those rates were prepared with a cost of service study. There was nothing arbitrary about choosing any one of those rates over another or adjusting one rate over another. The cost of study details and generated those increases. And I think it's important to have it pointed out that there was nothing arbitrarily chosen, that we sort of feel good about the cost of service approach, and we're pleased with the outcome.
Yeah, the other, a couple other notes that we can get into when we get into the nuts and bolts of the ordinance, that we've added an electric vehicle rate, and we have also moved to more of a flat rate system. So our ordinance, rate ordinance or tariff from a number of years ago, designed to be where you got a discount for the more power that you used. And we've moved away from that system that you simply pay the same rate from kilowatt number one for the last kilowatt. And that, I think, is reflective of a growing community rather than a community that was encouraging growth a number of years ago.
Also, electricity is a limited resource, and it did not make good sense to a lot of us that if you used more of it, the cost of that use per unit of use would go down, that was not protecting a limited resource. And so each one of our classes now has a flat rate when it comes to kilowatt hour usage. And that's a step forward in protecting a limited resource, I feel like.
So relative from a procedural standpoint, this item on the agenda, I don't know if now would be a good time for Sandra to address just from a typical residential user standpoint. This is not really an action item, but you will be asked under the next agenda item to approve that cost of service study that's been prepared by Baker Tilly as part of our recommending resolution to the City Council. From a procedural standpoint, before we get into the City Council, as Sandra's turning this on, this would be a recommending resolution for a rate change. We go to the City Council. The City Council would then have 2 noticed public hearings with a proposed ordinance change.
Sandra?
All right, so what I did is I prepared, I'm not sure how good anybody can see it, but we just wanted to take a look and see right now as proposed, how would this affect an average residential bill? So for that, we used 1,000 kilowatts. And if you look under our current charges there, you can see that we had a declining rate block. So 1,000 kilowatts under that block, and that also includes the fuel adjustment tracker. And I think that's important to note because that will revert back to 0 under the current rates. But the bill for 1,000 kilowatts would be $126.44 currently. If you look under the proposed, we've moved that to the flat rate. We've zeroed out the tracker. It comes to $130.47. So the difference is $4.03 for what we would consider an average user, which is 3.19%. So it's a little bit less than that 4% that Jeff mentioned. But that's going to change depending on your usage. If your usage is less than that, that percentage will be less. If your usage is double that, obviously that percentage is going to go up a lot. So we thought it important just to put that in perspective for everyone.
So let me make sure I understand this. So if you use 1,000 kilowatt hours as a residence, that the bill after the rate increase will go up 3.19%, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I'd like to point out one thing that's in the ordinance is the quarterly tracker that we use to compute the difference in the cost of service from time to time, or the cost of electricity from time to time that we receive from IMPA. Our last base rate increase was in January of 2013. Since that time, there's been quarterly tracker increases. Some of those increases have been positive. Some of those some of those changes have been decreases. And so I was curious to compute for myself whether over the last 13-plus years, whether those trackers on that portion of my utility bill that is dependent upon kilowatt hours, how it was affected. Our rates currently have a fixed customer charge of $7.88 a month. We also, as an individual resident, myself, have rates per kilowatt hours used, which is represented here. And we also have a 7% sales tax on that fixed charge and the usage charge added together. I subtracted from my January 2013 bill the fixed charge and the sales tax so I could figure out what my cost per kilowatt hour usage was. And I also did the same thing for my latest bill to determine what my cost per kilowatt hour was used. So this would, in essence, track how the quarterly tractors have impacted me over the last 13-plus years. And it was a 16.34% increase. Now, I went and looked at the consumer price index for all urban consumers for that same time frame, from January 2013 to July 2026. And the inflation, as measured by that metric, increased 45.01%. So my tracker cost increased 16.34% compared to 45% inflation. That to me indicates that the power that we receive from IMPA after all the quarterly changes have been significantly less than the rate of inflation. I think that's good to note. I think it's good to note for all our customers that the quarterly trackers will continue, and it will continue to change your rate on the kilowatt hours you use. Sometimes it'll go up and sometimes it'll go down, but hopefully IMPA will be able to be just as efficient for the next 13 years as they have for the past 13 years. And I just wanted to share that with folks.
Thank you.
I think it's also important to note, just from we're talking about, one of the things that I think the board will likely hear is that this change, despite us having only a small portion of the LEAP district in our service territory that is not being utilized other than small residential right now. The last time the board considered such an ordinance, I believe, was in 2012, the last rate change.
It's effective January 2013.
Last time the board considered this ordinance, similar ordinance was 2012, effective 13. So the changes in bills that you see, to your point, that customers will see is related to the tracker changing based upon what we purchase the power for.
And the reason we're needing to, as a utility, we try to balance reliability and affordability. And we're in a situation where we're having to consider, and when we're having to complete capital projects that are significant, and that's really going to be key to our reliability from the standpoint of keeping the lights on now and also serving new customers. So we have a reliability issue that this increase will address, but from a residential standpoint, there's an increase, but I think it's falls satisfactorily on the affordability side. So that balance between reliability and affordability, I think we can keep that in a good place going forward.
Any questions for Sandra? If not, we do need a motion to approve the study.
I'll move to approve and accept the Baker Tilly Municipal Advisors LLC report on proposed project and cost of service rate study, City of Lebanon, Lebanon, Indiana, Lebanon Utilities Municipal Electric Utility.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any comments from the public related to the study? Any additional comments from the board?
I'd hoped during my term on this board to avoid approving any rate increase, and I almost made it. So that's the end of my comment.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Now to the resolution. This is Resolution 2026-10, recommending to the Common Council the adoption of a new schedule of rates and charges for the municipal electric utility of the City of Lebanon. I'll ask Jeff to go ahead and read that ordinance.
Thank you, Board. Resolution 2026-10, whereas the City of Lebanon, Indiana owns and operates through its Lebanon Utility Service Board a municipal utility known as Lebanon Utilities for the purpose of providing safe, reliable, and efficient electric service in and around the city. Whereas the board, based in part on the advice of its financial advisor, Baker Tilly Municipal Advisors, has caused a cost of service rate study, a copy of which is attached here to as Exhibit A, to be prepared analyzing the adequacy and structure of utilities rates and charges. Whereas the cost of service study recommends a revised schedule of electric rates and charges designed to produce revenues sufficient to pay for the expenses incident to the operation and maintenance of the utility and to fund necessary improvements to and the expansion of the utility system. Whereas the board has reviewed the proposed ordinance entitled Ordinance Establishing a New Schedule of Rates and Charges Collected for the Use of and Services Provided by the Municipal Electric Utility City of Lebanon, which establishes the schedule of rates and charges recommended in the cost of service study. And whereas the board finds that the rates and charges set forth in the ordinance are non-discriminatory, reasonable, and just, and that the adoption of the ordinance is in the best interest of the ratepayers, the utility, and the city. Now therefore be it resolved that the Utility Service Board makes the following findings, which collectively and individually support the recommendation to the Common Council for the City of Lebanon as follows. A, the cost of service study prepared by Baker Tilly attached here to as Exhibit A is hereby approved and adopted by the board. B, the board hereby recommends that the Common Council City of Lebanon adopt the ordinance attached here to as Exhibit B, establishing a new schedule of rates and charges for the municipal electric utility based upon the cost of service study. And the board authorizes the direct utilities general manager to transmit the resolution together with Exhibit A and B to the Common Council for its consideration and action. As mentioned, Exhibit A is the cost of service study, which you all just approved, and Exhibit B is the recommending ordinance. And the ordinance is quite a bit more to it than the resolution. By way of just briefly going through, we have the schedule of rates of charges. We have the residential rate, which is recommending a 4.2% increase in the overall average usage, let me say that again, a 4.2% overall average usage increase. It has the commercial, and by the way, in all of these rates, as mentioned, we're now going from a declining rate to a flat rate. The commercial rate is next. That has a 3.10% overall average usage decrease. The municipal rate is a 5.5% overall average usage increase. The small general power service has a 2.54% overall average usage decrease. The primary power and light service, or the industrial rate, has a 20.55% overall average usage increase. The private security and public street light service has a 15.85 average overall average usage increase. We have inserted an electric vehicle charging service rate. We have our rate adjustment provision, which does not allow for the customer to voluntarily shift between or to select its rate, but it's based upon usage. We have our net metering provision, which was discussed in detail in the working session, and that continues with our 10 kW per customer cap and an overall 0.1% total summer peak load for total generation on the system, which is consistent with our power purchase agreement. We also have some interconnection standards which reflect IMPA's recommendation and some of the robust recommendations from staff and previous resolutions. Our non-recurring rates and charges have remained the same. We then have the rate schedule selection, our annual review, and then our severability provision, an effective date upon the adoption of the Common Council. Happy to answer any questions.
One thing on the cost of service study that, during the working sessions and other, also during the Finance Committee meetings, our consultant phrased it in this way, is that if the percent increase by class was small, that means that class had paid its fair share in the last 13 years. That if the increase was somewhat, then that service class had not paid their fair share over the last 13 years, and this was sort of a catch-up measure. So the cost of service is very valuable to us in that regard, and is a good explanation for why there's a difference between the classes.
In other words, it levels the playing field.
Very much so. We have transitioned from 14 years ago being a community seeking development to now a community that has the development, and we think it's time for, I said seeking development, we were incenting development, so you get large power here and you had a declining rate. Now we have a flat rate that says you're here and we're all going to pay the same. Other comments from the board? Okay, we do have a resolution in front of us. We're seeking a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution number 2026-10, recommending to the Common Council the adoption of a new schedule of rates and charges for the municipal electric utility of the city of Lebanon.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any comments from the public? Any other? All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 2026-10 carries. We will send it on to the Common Council of Lebanon. From a process standpoint, then, there will be 2 readings at the City Council. Are we on the agenda next week, or will it be the following meeting?
We will not be on the agenda next week. We need to provide notice of the public hearing, and
Okay.
that would not occur that quickly.
Okay. So there will be 2 meetings with the Common Council. Assuming they approve it, we'll have an approved
And the
ordinance.
public hearing will occur at the city council meeting,
Yes.
correct?
Correct. That would be second reading, correct?
Or first, was it first reading or second reading, the public hearing?
I guess they.
I guess it's both. They open and close it for
They
both.
he's open really at both. He's allowed
Yeah,
public
it-
comment.
yeah.
That's the way, that's the way they do business,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So that'll be in both, and then,
But the formal public hearing will be one of them, okay.
yes. Rate increase January 1st, correct, is what we're targeting?
We're targeting October 1st, if we can get it pushed through in September.
Okay. Okay. One thing from the chair I'd like to say is thanks to many, many people for this study. I've got from our electric department, David, Sam, Phil's with us tonight. They spent an inordinate amount of time helping us get the right data together with Baker Tilly to be able to prepare this. Old billing standards, our usage, our capital requirements moving forward, business requirements moving forward. Our administration, Ed, Sandra, and Danny, I want to thank Jeff and the legal team for the quick work with the ordinance. We asked for pretty quick turnaround once we had our final discussions on the rate increase itself to get this ordinance in place. Let's see here. I want to thank the Finance Committee, Aaron and Ann. They have looked at this multiple times in multiple different ways to get us to the correct point with the right balance, as Aaron said, between what rate increase and what our reliability needs to be. Our IMPA partners, I want to thank them for 14 years of increasing our cost only 16% relative to the CPI. And then this has been a process for us as a board. One of the most significant steps we took to get to this rate increase was for us to remove ourselves from the IURC board. And what that allowed us to do is remove an inordinate amount of capital expense related to development here in town that the ratepayers no longer have to pay for. That's to the tune of approaching $1 million to $2 million a year just in savings for our ratepayer that now developers pay for, that declined or made this rate increase much smaller. So I want to thank all those folks involved and the process that this has occurred over the last couple years.
And the city council and mayor for going along with our recommendations on that development plan for development.
I agree. They had to support us on our removal from IURC, and they'll have to ultimately vote on this resolution. All right. Now, Sandra, please. Item number 6 tonight is our health insurance and benefits discussion for our 2027 rates.
Thank you. So yeah, I'm here tonight to discuss the 2027 health and ancillary benefit review. And a little bit of history before we get into really the guts of the presentation. But if everybody remembers, it was back in 2017 when we switched over to a multi-year agreement with AIM Medical Trust. Prior to that, we used a brokerage firm, and we went out and we shopped our insurance every year. And AIM also does shop the insurance, but the partnership with them has been great. This agreement does require both LU and the city to be in the trust. Originally, it was just the city in the trust, or city that was in the trust, but once we joined in, it no longer became an option for either of us to get out. So it's both of us or none of us. If we do ever decide we want out of the trust, just a reminder, we have to give an 8-month notice. So we have to let them know by April 1st. And if you look at the summary of changes there, I took some of the years off. It's always been pretty favorable, but it's incredible what they have offered us, 0.03%, a negative 21%, all the way down 2 years in a row at 3%. And as part of the history, it's important to note that back in 2017, one of the reasons we reached out to AIM was our quote came back with health insurance at right at $1.2 million. So I'm only showing the savings here since 2020, but obviously it's been well before that, but we're still not paying what our quote was back in 2017. So we have saved an incredible amount of money making this switch. So for 2027, they are giving us a 7.5% increase. And I'll tell you, industry averages right now are in the mid-teens, up to around 22% in some places. So we do still feel like 7.5% is very good. I'm going to go through all of these, Jeff, and then I'll back up for the motions if that's okay. So tonight we're asking to stay in Plan 7 with AIM, and that is through United Healthcare for a 7.5% increase. The Utility Service Board, Lebanon Utilities, currently contributes 85% of the premium cost, and the employees contribute 15%. We are asking that the board continue with that percentage. We also contribute $2,200 to the employee's HSA account, $4,400 to the family accounts, and we are asking that the board continue with that. And then on the ancillary benefits, great news, all of those are 0%. Last year, there was at least 2-year agreements done on all these, so we are recommending that we stay with AIM for all of our ancillary costs. So with that, I would take questions, and then I know we have to make 4 different motions, so I'm just going to back up.
I'm going to make my annual comment that this is a good benefits package, a very good benefits package that perhaps is better than a lot of our residences have for themselves. But this benefit package helps us attract and retain good employees, great employees who serve as neighbors serving neighbors, and I think that we get a good return for providing this good benefit.
Is there a reason that we have to have 4 separate motions as opposed to just a motion to approve the 27 employee health insurance and ancillary benefits as presented?
I'll let Jeff Jacob answer that.
Yeah, I hate to say it this way, but that's the way we've historically done it, and I think that came from the recommendation from the provider. Is that, yeah.
Questions or comments from the board?
No?
Any questions or comments from the public? Okay, we'll have a series of motions here. Let's go ahead and progress through them. The first one will be for the plan in and of itself.
I move to approve with HSA Plan 7 with AIM Medical Trust for 2027 and accept the rates as proposed in the attached documents provided by AIM.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries for the plan itself. Now for the 85% coverage. Motion?
I move to approve Lebanon Utilities to cover 85% of the cost of the health insurance, and the employees contribute to pay 15% of the cost of the health insurance for 2027.
Second.
Comments? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries. Third motion is for the HSA contribution.
I move to approve the HSA contributions made by Lebanon Utilities for the employees of $2,200 for employees only coverage and $4,400 for family coverage for 2027.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other comments? Outside of I am very envious of this piece of our benefits package. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Our fourth motion for the ancillary benefits.
I move to approve the annual benefits with AIM as presented for vision, dental, life, short and long-term disability for 2027.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you.
We hope that our employees will be somewhat pleased. All right, next agenda, fiber leases with BREMC. Seth's becoming a regular.
Hey, good evening. Basically, I got 2 items. They're both the same. They're currently agreements that we have with BCA Connect, which is a part of the Boone Power, or what was Boone RAMC. Basically, we currently lease some fiber optic lines that allow us to connect our site, our main connection in the location at Lebanon Utilities, to 2 of our remote towers, so we can provide reliable, high-speed bandwidth connections to those towers, which allows us to provide good speeds to our customers. So 3 years ago, due to that need to increase our reliability and also our capacity to a couple towers, we entered into an agreement with BCA Connect for fiber optic transport service, as running our own fiber optic lines based off of cost estimates would be too costly of an investment with a very long payback period. The previous 36-month agreement is near expiration, and Telecom is requesting that the board approve a renewed agreement with BCA Connect for another 36 months to lease those fiber optic lines, one for our tower in Hazelrig that we call Slifer, and the other for our tower in Advance. Both of them are the same cost of $1,500 a month, which is not a change from the previous 36 months. It's the same price we had prior. For both of them having a total of $54,000 for the 3 years or 36-month total cost for the agreement. So telecommunication would request that the board approve a renewal agreement, first of all, with BCA Connect to lease fiber optic lines to the Slifer Tower for a period of 36 months at a price of $1,500 per month for a 36-month total of $54,000. I guess open, any questions on that one? Be happy to answer anything.
Yeah, we can go ahead and describe both, and then we'll
Okay, no
vote
problem.
separately like we just did with the benefits.
Sure. And the other one, same thing, different tower site. So the Telecommunications Department requests the board approve a renewed agreement with BCA Connect to lease fiber optic lines to the Advanced Tower for a period of 36 months at the price of $1,500 a month for a 36-month total of $54,000.
I am curious, it's pretty obvious where the Advanced Tower is. Where's the Slifer Tower?
It's in Hazel Ridge, so it is just north of the Meta stuff. It's so basically it's south of 400 and east of 500 West. So south of 400 North, east of 500 West, over by the sod farm.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Any questions for Seth? All right, well, we'll have two motions, one for each tower. Let's go ahead and do we have a motion?
I move to approve the renewal agreement with BCA Connect to lease fiber optic lines to the Advanced Tower for a 36-month period at the price of $1,500 per month for a total of $54,000.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments from the public? Additional comments from the board? We have a motion and a second for the fiber optic lines to the Advanced Tower. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, second motion for the Slifer Tower.
I'll move to approve the renewal agreement with BCA Connect to lease fiber optic lines to the Slifer Tower for a 36-month period at the price of $1,500 per month for a total of $54,000.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Public comment? Any additional board comment? All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Seth.
Yep.
You're welcome anytime. All right, ISC engineering change order. David or Sam? Okay, David?
Hello, everyone. So today I'm here to talk about our ISC contract for engineering. Currently, we have a contract with ISC in the amount of $148,400. And what that did was that gave us an engineer for a day and some off-site help. As we've grown and changed, our needs have also changed and have increased. We really need an engineer almost full-time now, so we're asking Phil to come back more often, which has increased the amount of money that we need to spend with him. So today, I'm asking the board to approve a change order in the amount of $60,400, which would allow him to be here one more day a week for the rest of the year and to catch us up on basically the past due that we'll have at our continued rate. Is there here? And Phil's also here that can answer any specifically related questions.
Questions? All right. So we did,
I'll make a comment. Phil Presto has explained things to where I can almost understand it, and I appreciate his patience.
He is an engineer, so sometimes you don't know.
hey. Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll move to approve the change order with ISC Engineering in the amount not to exceed $60,400, bringing the total revised amount not to exceed amount to $208,800 for engineering services through the end of 2026.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any comments from the public?
I'd like to, I was sort of being humorous there for a moment, but Phil has been very good about answering questions about capital projects and explaining them to me to the point where I could understand them as best as I could. So I sincerely appreciate his willingness to work so directly with a board member and so kindly.
I think the comment I'd make is, as the previous electric representative, we had kind of this idea or this vision 2 to 3 years ago when Phil first came on board, and now it's coming to fruition for us, and I think it's highly needed, and it's been very effective for us. So good vision from the electric department, and thank you, Phil, for participating with us. So we have a motion and a second for the engineering ISC engineering change order. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, Spencer's up next. Spencer bought some real estate.
Thank you, Board. As you are aware, the utilities purchased the property at 407 East Fordyce Street with the plan of utilizing this property in the future for a lift station. Last board meeting, Ryan and John opened sealed bids, and upon review, it was determined that Ray's Demolition LLC was the lowest responsive and most reasonable bidder for the demolition of the existing structures on this property. I request for the approval to issue a notice of award to Ray's Demolition LLC in the amount of $29,500 based upon the base bid submitted and publicly read aloud on August 5th, 2026.
Any questions for Spencer? How quickly would we start, once we award it? Is this something they hop on right away, or they fit in
Yeah,
schedule?
I believe so. I'd have to double check, but I do believe that this will be a pretty quick process.
This is just for the removals. Is this for any recovery for the lot itself, the yard, anything like that?
Nope, this is just for the demolition and removal of the debris.
Questions?
And I will caveat that after we do get approval for this, most likely at the next board meeting, I will bring back the official agreement with the scope of work so that you guys can see it. We'll get that approved as well.
The what?
The official agreement that Rays will give us, we'll work with BF&S and Rays to come up with an official agreement that'll have a scope of work so that you can see that as well.
Contract.
Contract, essentially, yes, sir.
Okay. Other questions? Do we have a motion for the demolition?
I'll make a motion that we approve the issuing of a notice of award to Ray's Demolition LLC in the amount of $29,500 based on the base bid submitted and publicly read aloud on the August 5th, 2026.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any public comment? Other comments from the board? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 10, amendment number 1 to task order number 11, pretreatment program assistance. Spencer.
Sir, this request is to approve the Wessler Engineering Amendment Number 1 to the Task Order Number 11, Pretreatment Program Assistance. This scope of services includes assistance with record-keeping and tracking systems for individual users, on-site assistance for Lebanon utilities on industrial inspection events, and completion of the pretreatment annual report and more. I request the approval for the Wessler Engineering Amendment Number 1 to the Task Order Number 11, which increases the contract amount by $20,000 from $45,000 to a new not-to-exceed total of $65,000.
This is for the civil district?
Yes.
At some point, there's going to be a permit for discharge from Elite District, from Meta. Will Wessler be involved with that?
Yes, and they have been.
Okay, so So that'll be a separate issue from the civil district then. Okay. Thank you.
Other questions? Do we have a motion for this amendment?
I move to approve Wessler Engineering Amendment Number 1 to Task Order Number 1 in the amount not to exceed $20,000, bringing the total not to exceed amount of $65,000.
Second.
There was a minor typo. It's task order 11, I believe. I'm sorry. Just wanted to-
It's task order number 11, yeah. Okay, so noted.
So noted.
So noted. Please, Danny. We have a motion and a second. Are there any comments or questions from the public? Additional comments or questions from the board? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And I'm assuming Sam's coming up. We have an electric and safety projects update for this quarter.
Struggling to get it to pull up right now, so just a second. There we go. Spazzing out on me.
They speak extemporaneously, Sam.
And Microsoft is loading. So just so everyone knows, we are extremely busy on the electric side. We do have our line foreman here, Evan Culley, who decided to show up and support us here tonight. Those guys are getting a lot done in the field. If my PowerPoint ever loads, I can talk about some of the awesome work that we are doing on the electric side as well. But Evan is a big part of what we're doing in the field and leading the crews. And I appreciate him being able to be here.
While Sam's loading, we only have one. Oh, he's got a little slow on the draw there. A little slow on the draw there, Chairman.
Here we go. So, our electric projects are as follow, or as it goes here. Hickory Junction Phase 2, this is for everything right in front of the field house. We are probably about 90% complete there. For reference, we have 49 working hours. And that equated to about 229 man-hours to this point. Now, we will have to have a significant outage for all of the apartments over there and everything that is tied in right now when we officially make those connections and heat everything up over there in front of Hickory Junction. So that is one of the large underground projects that we have going on currently. We have a few in the works that I'll kind of get to here in a minute. as well. The Witt Road project, Witt Road is, this is a part of the city project to widen Witt Road, add curbs and sidewalks and storm sewers as well. So we had to move our pole line back on Witt Road about 12 feet in some spots to 20 feet in some spots for some poles. So our guys are currently underway with this. Evan is the main crew lead on this one, so if you have any technical questions, I'll put him on the spot. But as far as it goes, we're about 50% of the way right now. We're going to start pulling wire this week. We're putting up a little bit more robust wire out there as well. And able to get that done. Right now, we have about 66 working hours, and like I said, we're only about halfway done. So we have 66 working hours. That doesn't include all of the tree trimming that has been done out there as well, which is well over 60 hours itself. We took down a few trees. By a few, I mean we took down about 9 or 10 trees, large trees as well, that took multiple days in some instances. So we have well over 120 hours if you include tree trimming. That has been done to this point. Now, just our crew's work is 66 working hours, which equates to about 359 man hours to this point.
Question on Witt Road.
Yeah,
Is it
absolutely.
all the way down Witt Road from Lafayette all the way up to just beyond 250 there? Okay, Evan, you're shaking your head. So how far down does it go?
So we are almost down to just past Austin Drive. So the two poles past Austin Drive is where we stop right there, right before the Latter-day Saints Church.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
LDS Church. Yep. So
And Sam, since we interrupted you,
Yeah.
as far as taking down trees, you're mainly talking about trimming trees that are ones that are in our easement or in the right of way, right?
it would be in conflict with the new pole line that we're putting in. So that is, yeah, that they would have been in the right of way or a trimming which would have been in conflict with our pole line. So to that effect, we are billing the city for that tree work that is being done as well. So we are not directly paying for it since it's a city project. We're allowed to Kevin Krulik and the engineering team at the city was very generous and basically said, if anybody wants their tree taken out in this project that is in the right of way that would be directly affected, go ahead and do it. So we went ahead and actually took it a few steps further for a few customers who we could have probably gotten away with trimming their tree, but the city was nice enough to offer them the opportunity to take the tree out, and we went ahead and accommodated that as well. The Northfield project here is another massive project we have underway, and we're about 50% of the way done with that one. Evan is also the crew lead on that one as well. So we have, again, about 66 working hours. It just so happened to work out. We're 50% of the way done with this one, 66 working hours. This one equated to 423 man hours. We're putting up new cable, we're taking down old cable, and we are to the point now where actually just yesterday we took a decent size outage. We will be transferring over equipment, so we'll be taking outages in this area. We'll contact you at least 2 days before is typically the way we notify people. We'll either leave a door hanger on, we'll try to get a hold of you that way. We also contact you with phone calls and emails. Is that pretty close?
Yeah, we use Smart Hub
Yep.
to contact, we send out mass alerts.
Hey, Sam, is that the new machine we just recently got for the backyards right there that they're up on?
Yeah, so that is the backyard machine in action right there. Probably a couple of years ago, a year ago. It's gotten its use. We're to the point where we need to do a little bit of maintenance on that as well, just because we've put it to use. And it's to the point where we've met the hour total that we need to get the oil changed, do all of that. But it's been awesome. It's been able to get us places where we wouldn't have been able to go before.
Hate to interrupt you, but could I ask Evan, what do you think's the machine? It's a new machine, and he's the one that probably actually runs it, gets up in the bucket sometimes, and I'm just curious how it's working out for the people that actually do the hard work.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it very much. Northfield's definitely a easement, backyards, tight spaces, so it has been a game changer for us. Definitely cut back on time, and even with storms recently, it's a huge help getting in tight spaces. changing poles out in backyards. Yeah, definitely a game changer and very nice.
I think one of the things we thought about too, Evan, with this, or one of the things that we talked about when we bought it was reduces the amount of potential damage to yards, doesn't it? Just because of how it's set up. It's not tires, right? It's
On tracks,
Yeah.
and we have mats for it as well. We do our very best not to tear up yards, but yeah, tracks does very minimal damage to grass, so another pro to that.
To clarify on how we contact people. So currently, we use our OMS, our outage management system. We put the list in on the line that's there. It does an automated process of phone calls, so we just set up the times and what we want it to say. It also sends out a mass email, and then it does an app notification also. That list always gets emailed to customer service a couple days, sometimes a week ahead of time. And then customer service will take it upon themselves to make phone calls if people don't answer the phone or if they don't have App Suite. So we do our very best to contact every customer just to let them know as far in advance as we can. Any businesses that are affected, we just personally go there, knock on doors, and try to get someone. That way we can schedule it without causing them any problems. Such as the movie theater, Witham Toxicology was on there the last outage, and we've talked to both of them prior to it.
And with these three outages, there's still, or with these three large projects, there's still a lot more outages that we have to take. Like with Whit Road, when we're switching equipment over. Same thing with when we're tying in at Hickory Junction. And then as we continue work in Northfield, it's going to be some outages. We're going to try and minimize them the most as possible, and that way we can cut down on outage time as well. But when they're planned outages, we prefer that to my next slide here, which is storm recovery. So everybody was aware that we had a pretty large storm that just rolled through about a week ago. And credit to all of our crew stepped up. We were all out until the last customer was turned back on. We had a lot going on, a lot of damage, and I can't say enough, and I think I speak for David and Evan too, that everybody worked really well as a team. We are a very young crew, and this was our first real test, and I think we passed with flying colors. And it's something that makes me proud, and I think that's something that we pride ourselves in, is taking care of our neighbors as best we can, and especially when something like this happens, and if we can take a little bit of ease off of their mind if they have something like this happens, and we can get them back on in a relatively quick time when they have something like this happen. I think that speaks volumes to us. Just some data. I know we talked about it a little bit in the working session, and I can send any of these reports to any board members that would like them. Our SAIDI and SAFI numbers are on there. So Ed and I talked a little bit earlier about it. There are some things on this chart that may cause some question. Direct stroke is a lightning strike. We talked about that a little bit in the working session. We had 3 lightning strikes, the storm damage as well. But some of these numbers, the SAIDI numbers that you see down there is the number of interruptions. It's the total minutes the average customer was without power, or the total minutes that the average customer was without power. So encompassing all of our outages, all of our types of outages, 105 minutes is roughly what our average customer has been without power. And you look at an outage like we had on Monday, that's going to inflate it a little bit, right? Because we were without power for 6 to 7 hours. And that was a large portion of our customer base. But if you look at that, the ASAI number up at the top, that's the percentage of time that our customers actually have power. And that's 99.96% of the time. That's pretty good. And then when you compare that relatively to a larger customer base like a NIPSCO, a Duke, an AES, even a Boone RMC or Boone Power, our numbers look incredibly better than them, just because we are a municipally owned. We're right here. We can respond pretty quick and get the power back on. So Any questions from this slide at all? Aaron, I think I do have your squirrels on there in this slide, so.
10 squirrels this year. It's a down year.
Yeah.
I have a question. Why is your direct stroke and the lightning broken out into two separate
So
sections?
instead of storm and the direct stroke, I don't know, I have no idea why they encompass that different and why they go about that different. And David may be able to answer that a little bit.
Sorry, I put these in every day or every week that we have outages. I go in their website and I enter all this data. So a direct stroke is lightning hitting one of our facilities, whether it be a pole, a transformer, and then lightning just in general is a lightning can actually cause a circuit to blink. It can cause a momentary outage, and we still enter that information also. So
Is that
no
without a direct hit?
without a direct hit, yeah. You just get a lot of voltage that comes back on the neutral, and then it causes that circuit to blink, basically. It can also, without direct hit, you'll see fuses blow also, just because they're sensing that voltage on the other side and they think there's something wrong. So that's what those differences are. It's hard to determine a lightning strike that is not a direct hit because we're just assuming a lot of the times. We saw it was lightning, we had a blink on a service, we drove the service, we didn't see any damage. We're assuming the lightning caused it. Unlike squirrels or, poles on fire or things like that, it's hard to find those. So that's why that number is probably a little bit less, because those are just assumed.
Thanks, that's helpful.
Had one question, Hickory Junction, so we're putting in the lines now. Those are the electric lines that will now allow them to expand correctly and add to their customer base or their potential businesses out there?
So the businesses that are slated to go right in front, I think we had, they've had inquiries from a gas station or two and something like that. So that commercial business that would go in right in front there, yes, that would be for this. And then it would also allow us to set up to their residential, their third phase, I think, which is going to be another residential phase that will be directly behind the field house. So it will have a tie-in point there for that as well. So it sets us up for that too.
Thank you. Questions for Sam? Any questions from the public related to our electric?
On that Hickory Junction, is that work done by our folks or contractors that we oversee to an extent?
So the only contractor we've used out there for Hickory Junction was Barriott. They came in and they installed the backbone for us. We're pulling all the wire. We're going to terminate everything. We're going to make the connections. So Barriott was the only one that came in and actually installed the conduit for us and the pedestals that we.
So that was our job. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right, tree trimming. I saw.
Tree trimming, yeah. So this is an overlay of the purple is from this year and the yellow is from last year. So 2026 is in the purple, 2025 is in the yellow. And right now we're on pace to double the trees that we've trimmed. And that's why we were talking in the working session that we may need to look at that when it comes to budget time, just because we are allotting a lot of resources right now. And this doesn't include any of the trees that our guys have trimmed. So this is strictly from a contractor, our tree contractor, who is currently My Tree Sons, and why we may think about either looping a couple of these into a specific project and bidding that out, or if we could work a different contractor in to kind of help alleviate some of the issues that we are seeing, and a lot more resources towards tree trimming, because we do have a few sections of town that are older and need a little bit more attention. So that's something that we are looking at, and this data helps with that. The final project that we have on the electric side that we are currently working on is the Novatech SCADA. So we are getting the ball rolling on it. This is just an overlay. We don't actually have a Lenexa substation, but this is what it's going to look like for us to be able to log on and get data from that. We're getting the ball rolling. We are at the beginning stages of that, but we anticipate having an entire turnkey process and being able to take over that by the end of October to the middle of November is what they're telling us. So
Is there a significant training component to this?
Yes, yeah, training was included in the entire bid process as well.
Has the training been done?
The training has not been done yet, so we are to the point where we are now, they are building our SCADA for us, and then I think the training will be slated for early October, and we will, I can't remember the exact number off the top of my head. I think it was like roughly 30 hours of training allotted total, so we have plenty of time to get that done. The next slide here is the projects that we have on the horizon. Currently, Angeli Gardens Phase 2 is being installed. The backbone is being installed by Pink Lady Contracting. Once that is done, we'll begin pulling wire. So that one's the next one that's going to be up for us. Auburn Meadows Phase 4 is another one that's going to be a massive project, underground project for us. That's roughly 130 homes that's going in there, and it's just going to be another massive project on our. Between those two, that's about 180 houses that we're going to be hooking up with underground services. Fordash Road Reconductor, we have this project partially started. We've set some poles. That is another overhead project for us. So it's basically we're going to change out some wire, reconductor some wire along Fordash Road. You may have seen the new poles already sitting next to the old poles. So once we get a couple of these overhead projects done, that is the next big overhead project that we have slated for us. Jackson Square Apartments is a new development. Had a TAC meeting on that yesterday. They anticipate beginning dirt work in September over there, and that is going to be behind the Optum building on South Lebanon Street. It's a private drive back behind there. The Paddock Place Apartments is going in off of 300 across from the proposed Silver Creek development, and that is also underway right now. As far as dirt work, we have a few things that we need to do, and they actually just passed for their temporary power for their trailer. So we will be out there working in no time as well. We also have John Shaw Road at the end of the year that we need to do some work on, where the city is in the process of getting some right-of-way for that. So that is the holdup there. Also, harvest is another reason that we haven't done that, because there's a few pools that are in the middle of a cornfield right now. So we'll have to cross that bridge as well. And then Park 65 buildings, those are out on Ohms Drive. So out behind Donaldson's Chocolate, Flying J, there's two more buildings that are proposed out there as well. So those are the projects that we have for the rest of the year and probably the beginning of next year. Any questions before we get into the safety portion of this for the electric side?
That sort of indicates why we needed ISC for a few more hours engineering.
Yes, yeah, and this doesn't even include the random questions that pop up on the day-to-day that we either have to call Phil for, or he's not always available when he's not on site. But usually when he's on site, David and I are at his door of the office that he works out of, and we hit him up as soon as he walks in, and then usually 3 or 4 times throughout the day before he leaves as well. So it is much needed for sure. The safety side here, we have our safety committee. We have the same safety committee that we talked about the last time. We have a representative from every department, and myself and Spencer are also on that safety committee as well. Right now, we have purchased CPR, AED, and first aid training equipment. I believe that we talked about that last time. We're in the process of getting that figured out so we can update everyone on their CPR and AED and first aid training. We purchased first aid equipments for all fleet vehicles. So anybody who is working out in the field has an updated first aid kit. All foremen and supervisors in their truck have trauma bags just in case anything is massive. We have that taken care of as well. Some trainings that we have coming up for oh, shoot, I put July on there. It is past July, but August is backfeed safety. So we have that coming up this month. And then confined space rescue and safe switching practices are up for September. So confined space training is a special class that we sign up for. It is outside the normal scope of our normal safety meetings. We will do a mock scenario of where we have to rescue someone. We'll get the dummy, put them down in the hole, and we'll have to rescue them by pulling them out of the manhole. So that is something that the entire field utility, anybody who is out in the field, even if you really don't deal with confined spaces a whole lot, we're going to require that everybody goes through that, and that's going to be our process going forward, that about every year or two we are going through this process just because it's pretty important for us. Safety committee.
Sam, who performs that training for you?
So that'll be TVPPA. So the same people that do our
Okay.
safety meetings, regular safety meetings, we have them come back and do that for us, so.
I'm just, because, firefighters have to have it.
Yep.
I imagine police have to have it. I know.
They do. We are actually, since we're paying for the meeting already, we have to have it for our people. We've invited the DPW in as well. One project, I'll go ahead and get to it. One project that we are working with, it was brought up by our water and wastewater department, Spencer and Matt Hutton, and I think Chad Nance was really behind this. They were partnering with DPW to match our traffic safety equipment. So they're going to purchase their own, we'll purchase our own, but that way if we need to use any more, it'll be a fluid trade, whereas if DPW needs to borrow something, it'll be the exact same. So that way we're same throughout the board, throughout the city, and even though we won't be purchasing all together, the utilities will be separate from the city, we're all going to use the same brands, the same kind of stuff. So I think keeping, especially those guys, they're in the same boat as us electric guys, and really for the water and wastewater staff, we're all very young all across the board. So the more training that we can do and involve those guys with, and vice versa, they involve us in stuff that they need as well. So as far as future projects for the safety committee, we're looking at new AEDs for line trucks. We have a couple that are recalled, so we need to get a few of those replaced. I mentioned the CPR and AED first aid recertifications for our field employees. And then we are going to also host a traffic flagging course. We'll lean on TVPPA for that as well. It's a 4-hour certification. Everyone will get a certification for 3 years is what that certification will be good for. It goes through everything from how to set up your job site, whether it's in town, whether it's on a state road, whether it's on an interstate, what all precautions that you need. So very thorough training there, and a lot of our guys have already been through it. This is just recertifying those guys. So those are the future endeavors that we have for the safety committee as well. So any questions or clarifications from anybody?
Just one thing from an experience standpoint, as Lilly comes more on board in time, and I don't know that Meta will have their own fire department. I don't think that they will, but I know Lilly will. Lilly, I know, partnered significantly with the city of Indianapolis, specifically the fire department, but I think others, because Lilly actually built and designed specific training facilities that may be pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know what'll happen, but as they come on board, as their fire department starts up, as they do different things, we might reach out and just see if there's some cross-training.
Absolutely.
Because there are potential common problems that could exist between where they're at and where our work crews are going to be.
Absolutely, yeah.
Additional questions for Sam? Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
We have one additional agenda item, approval of claims, payroll, and transfers. I noticed that the first number is pretty large, but that was significantly one invoice for rentals in our construction for the lift station, so
Need to change that to the 19th, too.
yes. On the motion to the 19th, okay. If there are no questions or comments, do we have a motion?
I move to approve the claims, payroll, and transfers dated August 19th, 2026 in the amount of $5,265,041.36 for claims and payroll and $690,129.19 for transfers.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other additional questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries for claims, payroll, and transfers. Any other business to come before the board? Board members? Ed?
I think Ryan has something. Ryan,
Ryan doesn't have anything to do.
no, I thought you were going to introduce a new employee, or?
Thank you, Ryan.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Ryan.
I think you woke him up, I know.
Well, thanks for doing
You
that.
thought you had one free meeting.
I was so close to being done. But yes, we do have our new administrative assistant. Shannon Faulkner is here. She's been with us for about a month. And Matt Hutton is putting her through the paces, I can promise you that. With all the training and then all the bulk water we have, she is drinking out of a fire hose, for lack of a better term right now. So just appreciate everything she's done, and hope everybody gets a chance to meet her and say hi and make her employment as easy as possible for what she's walking into with how busy we are right now.
And having to work with you.
It didn't need to be said, but thank you for saying it.
All right.
That's all I had.
All right, thank you.
I'll go
Welcome,
back to
Shannon.
taking a nap now. Thank you.
I didn't mean to put him on.
Actually have something that we forgot to talk about today. So today, officially, we've switched all of our cell provider to what's called FirstNet. So we're a part of the first responders group now. This change was, one, because we had a very significant cell phone outage a few months ago that affected us. This change will not make a difference on that, but we contacted Verizon. We've had some meetings with them, and they were like, "Why aren't you guys a part of this?" And we're like, "We didn't know about it." So we officially are, as of today, we're on what's called FirstNet. Everyone's cell phone had an issue when we were switching over, so everyone had to restart their phones, and now we're on basically a network that gets priority. So it's not a new network. It just would bump us up on the list in case there was a significant outage. It would just bump us up, same as police, fire, and any rescue. So I thought that it was worth mentioning. Peyton was the one who kind of has been spearheading this in our IT department. So give a shout out to her today. That's it.
Yeah. Other business? How about comments from the public this evening? Any?
Mr. Chairman, members, Sam, I am fascinated to learn that squirrels are your largest cause of outages. I've learned something tonight. That's pretty amazing with your pie chart. Lou Ann Baker from Pike Township in Indianapolis, just with a reminder that we are looking forward to hearing more about Christopher Burke and their work as being evaluated by the Lebanon utility staff, with our understanding that the utility staff in Westler will review that final report as you see it, make recommendations to you, adjust any necessary changes in the preliminary engineering report, and then hopefully send an NPDES updated application to IDEM for their consideration. Thanks for all your work, time, and consideration. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Comments? All right, our next meeting will be Wednesday, September 9th in this room at 5 p.m. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.